assistance of any kind, we are here for a great day. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to introduce the first speaker. Joe Lavasser is a South Royalton resident, artist, writer, and is here to drop some knowledge on us. Thank you so much. Joe?
I hope this is loud enough so everyone can hear me without having to be too close together. I asked to speak today because there's just so much going on, and everybody knows I'm outspoken, so what have I got to hide? I'd like to start with this. A friend once proposed that we try saying, in so many ways, after any statement or comment, for the comedy that no matter what had been said, the phrase would functionally work. Well, leaving comedy aside, there are very important things to be said here today in so many ways. Why am I here? I grew up in East Barnard. I'm white Vermont, which, although embarrassing at a moment like this, shouldn't stop me from advocating for human rights. This specific plea to recognize that Black Lives Matter comes after centuries of repression in so many ways, and the recent decades of violence and death of Black people at the hands of police in this country. Today, it's white people like me who need the most to be engaged in activism, to agitate for change, and to call out the people who perpetuate racism. Enjoying white privilege, I've only felt targeted in instances such as driving down Route 110 home from the fair means I'll probably get pulled over. After determining that I'm not drunk, the cops tell me, have a good night, and let me drive away, enjoying my white privilege. I don't break into a sweat wondering if I'll be pulled out of my car, arrested, or shot. Racism is a strange term in so many ways. We all know it means being prejudiced against people of color, against people who don't appear to be of certain European ancestry, against people we've decided aren't like us. But scientifically, we aren't different races of human beings. We're all Homo sapiens. We're all humans. In parts of this country, schools aren't allowed to teach anthropology and evolution. They're required to teach creationism. Is that because scientists say that all of humankind came from Africa? From my limited knowledge of the Bible, I thought the Old Testament was a Hebrew history. So, do creationists teach that at the time of Genesis, we were all Hebrew? I don't think so. Slavery was practiced by humans since the dawn of time, practiced by Greeks, Celts, Incans, countless others. It was subjugation of those who were conquered, an act of or consequence of war. In the early U.S., it was a profitable business to kidnap and sell Black heathens from Africa. They were not considered to be human beings. Then 160 years ago, we fought the Civil War to abolish slavery. The people who were stolen from Africa, brought to America, were declared free. Why? In so many ways, are they still not free? What can we do? Protest for change. Vote. Don't put it off for another day. Don't figure there's already enough people out there raising their voice. In July of 1990, Stevie Ray Vaughan performed at the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds. For a reason I can't recall, my husband and I didn't go. We said, we'll go next time. There was no next time. Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash less than 2 months later on August 27th. In 1982, one of the largest demonstrations in U.S. history was the anti-nuke demonstration in New York City. Many folks I know went and marched in New York City. I didn't go. I had to work, or it was kind of far away, or blah, blah, blah. At home, the radio was broadcasting news on the march all day. The groundswell was tremendous. Pictures were published showing rivers of people marching up 7th and 5th Avenues. Then in the far, far distance, standing out from and above all the rest, came Vermont's contingent, with bread and puppet theater actors on stilts. In a benign way, if you can picture it, it was kind of like the Oliphants that Theoden King sees from far across the Pelennor field. It was that arresting. Tears came to my eyes, and I said, I should be there. In the words of Janis Joplin, get it while you can, because it ain't going to be there when you wake up, man. In so many ways, people of color shouldn't have to wake up to another day like this. Keep protesting for change. We need to change the system that allows systematic racism. We need to change the judicial system that protects racists in law enforcement. We need to change the gun culture that encourages people to play fast and loose with weapons that are made for no other purpose than killing human beings. We need to change that police can beat up, shoot, and kill people for no other reason than that they didn't obey their orders. We need to vote. Some of you may not realize the full impact of the particular person who is elected to public office. Whether it's the President of the United States, a governor, or a town official, these people have an impact on who serves, from the Supreme Court to the Environmental Board to the municipal police. Vote. Advocate for a candidate or run for office. Look to vote for altruists, people who seek to serve for the good of humankind, not self-serving business people who seek to exploit natural resources for profit, or who seek to encourage tribal racism to keep white fat cat corporations in power. Educate yourself. Get news from trusted sources. Be skeptical of the conspiracy theory style of news. Real journalists are very careful to cite sources and clarify the facts. Vote. After I began to formulate my ideas for this speech today, I saw that other people quoted in the newspaper, on TV, and in person, one by one, said the same things. But nobody was stealing my ideas. All over, people are saying the same things, and that bodes well for unity in so many ways. Thank you.
How's everybody doing today? Good. I appreciate seeing every one of you here. I appreciate bringing my children to this. Because if y'all saw them, they're proof that blacks and white people can unite very lovingly. And so I really felt it was important that they came and be a part of this. I have one thing written, hold on, that I wrote a couple years ago, but it fits right now. Part of, it's called Truth of the Matter. My mind is wallowing on what's of the world today. Society wants to take us back to when we were slaves. People of color only seen as a danger. Asking for equal rights, concepts like a stranger. My people unarmed getting shot up in the street. Just heard of another dude, he was killed last week. He was a father figure, the name Stephon Clark. Only offense he had was being at his fam's house parked. No damn idea why being black is such a crime, cause neither did he. He was shot 20 damn times. White folks don't get the outcry of our rage. Too busy saying, it's okay, do what the cop says. When will people get that it's not that simple? We become a target for a bullet in the temple from the same people who protect and serve, not allowed the same justice that white folks deserve. We can't even express how much the shit's unfair. Like talking to a wall, nobody don't care. How many have to die before we finally get it? So many seem to happen that we try to forget it. What I have to say now, we can't forget anymore. We can't forget because George Floyd was not the first. Stephon Clark was not the first. This goes back 400 years. So of course it's not going to end in a day. I get that. That means we all have work to do. Everybody has their place and part in this. Whether it is teaching, whether it is researching, whether it is activism of some sort. Use your talent. Use your voice. Because that's the only way that we're going to have a real difference. Everybody's on the front line. Shout out to them. They're risking a lot. If you have the money to donate, do that. Because you know what? Some of those protesters may need bail money, let's be real. But do yourself a favor. If any person of color trusts you enough to tell you their experience, respect them enough to listen and learn. I don't just do this to say I can. They're my reason. We have the next generation to think about. Let's prepare.
My name is Rajni Edens, and I'm a poet, artist, and facilitator and educator. My comrade and my friend, Omega Jade, we have some merch over there, so please support local black artists. I want to share a piece with you today that was written almost a decade ago. It's called For Trayvon, Mike Brown, and the Countless Unnamed. And it's just sad that we have to keep adding to this litany, but hopefully this is more than a moment. A demonstration. It's an opportunity to really transform the consciousness of ourselves and this region, this nation, and this world. Because the sickness of white supremacy and the anti-blackness that runs rampant across the world is such a harm to all of our people. Especially knowing that we all have ancestors from Africa on that were one human family. So it's time to wake up to that understanding and really affirm each other as this truth. This poem is called For Trayvon, Mike Brown, and the Countless Unnamed. It's from a book called Their Names Are Mine. Lynching is not dead. It's done in broad daylight, under the hot lights of media frenzy for black blood, white guilt, white fear, and white acquittal, where brown boys are still expendable. Michael Vick should have had Zimmerman's lawyer. Brown boys are worth less than black dogs. Trayvon should have been a brown lab. Maybe then we'd see more of a humane society's presence. If poems could march in the streets, overturn verdicts, bring corrupt police to justice, if they could bring a boy back his life and a mother back her son, a father back his boy, return bullets to a gun, unloose the lynch rope and unravel the knots from choked throats, we would not be choking on tears. When do our lives become valuable in the eyes of the law? When does hate cease to be exonerated behind a badge and lighter skin? And God forbid you wear a hoodie in the rain while having black skin with Skittles in your pocket. You can taste the rainbow, but you can't taste freedom. You can taste your own blood, but you can't taste the rainbow. Diversity is white people's code word for niggers. You can taste the rainbow, but not if you're too dark. The rainbow might come during the storm. If you're too dark on a block, in a hoodie, and the Skittles fall from your pocket, you never taste the rainbow. Your killer has the right to stand his ground. He may shoot you in the heart, and America may relive it in sordid detail. She is only reliving her nightmares. She dreams nightmares often. Open caskets, ashes, weighted limbs, no coffins. 2. His name is George Floyd. Say it.
George Floyd.
Breonna Taylor.
Breonna Taylor.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Ahmaud Arbery.
Renee Davis.
Renee Davis.
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Khalif Browder.
Khalif Browder.
Corey Jones.
Corey Jones.
Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray.
Michael Sabbie.
Michael Savage.
Darron Small.
Darron Small.
Terrence Sterling.
Terrence Sterling.
Terrence Crutcher.
Terrence Crutcher.
D. Wiggum.
D. Wiggum.
Tyree King.
Tyree King.
Keith Lamont Scott.
Keith Lamont Scott.
Darren Seals.
Darren Seals.
DeAndre Joshua.
DeAndre Joshua.
Philando Castile.
Orlando Castillo.
Alton Sterling.
Alton Sterling.
Corin Gaines.
Warren Gaines.
Oscar Grant.
Oscar Grant.
Mackenzie Cochran.
Mackenzie Cochran.
Jordan Baker.
Jordan Baker.
And Charleston 9.
Charleston 9.
Miriam Carey.
Miriam Carey.
Kamani Gray.
Kamani Gray.
Timothy Stanberry.
Timothy Stanberry.
Sean Bell.
Sean Bell.
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland.
Raynette Turner.
Raynette Turner.
Natasha McKenna.
Natasha McKenna.
Kendra Chapman.
Kendra Chapman.
Rakina Jones.
Keena Jones.
Albert Soule.
Alan Soul.
Maya Hall.
Maya Hall.
Darnisha Harris.
Donisha Harris.
Alicia Thomas.
Alicia Thomas.
Sarika Wilson.
Teresa Wilson.
Troy Good.
Troy Good.
Giovanni McDade.
Giovanni McDade.
Denzel Hampton.
Denzel Hampton.
Aaron Campbell.
Aaron Campbell.
Alonzo Ashley.
Alonzo Ashley.
Rennell Lewis.
Rennell Lewis.
Wendell Allen.
Wendell Allen.
Tanisha Anderson.
Tanisha Anderson.
Victor White.
Victor White.
John Crawford.
John Crawford.
Eric Garner.
Eric Garner.
Jonathan Farrell.
Jonathan Farrell.
Ezel Ford.
Esau Ford.
Keith Vidal.
Keith Vidal.
Michael Brown.
Michael Brown.
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis.
Akai Gurley.
Akai Gurley.
Darian Hunt.
Darian Hunt.
Kajim Powell.
Gene Powell.
Tamir Rice.
Tamir Rice.
Jeff Jaquez.
Jeff Jaquez.
Jason Harrison.
Jason Harrison.
Kendra McDade.
Kendra McDade.
Rakia Boyd.
Kia Boyd.
Yvette Smith.
Yvette Smith.
Matthew Paulo.
Matthew Powell.
Amadou Diallo.
Amadou
His name, he has a name. His name is I Can't Breathe. His name is Emmett Till. His name. You must remember his name. James Byrne Jr. You may whisper it in the wind. You may hear it in your skin. His name is guilty in his innocence. Freedom fighter, martyr, troublemaker. His name, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, he has a name. His name is Black Boy, blacklisted, blackballed. His name is Black Power. Black babies in the black market for green cash. Stolen life, tied to a tree, burnt at the stake. His name, probable cause, the Negro problem. Chalk outline, white man's fear. His name, ear for a souvenir. His name, Black Nigger Boy. Fred Hampton, Huey P. Newton, Medgar Evers. His name saves lives, mobilizes movements. His name is Watch for a Black Messiah, bullet to the heart, boy in jaws of wolf, white girl called rape, whistle too free, head too high. His name, look me in my eye. His name must die, gangster, thug, menace, stereotype. His name is Rest Like Demon. His name is Take Him to the Iron Bridge on Main Street. His name's legs are pulled until his neck cracks. Stabbed, hung, shot, burned, ravaged by relic hunters. His name is Mistaken Identity. Scottsboro Boys. Tuskegee Experiments. David Walker. Living, breathing, black manhood. Heathen, pagan, no salvation. His name is, you free nigga to get over it. Kunta Kinte, stolen African, strange fruit, stranger in a strange land, in danger of deranged hands, enemy of the state, genetic dissenter, asphalt art, bloody memory, collateral damage, white man's burden. That happened so long ago. Chain gang, wage slave, chattel, on the rack, in the irons, on the run, wanted. His name is arthritic hands that felt more thistles than cotton. His name is put your hands up. Spread them. Stop or I'll shoot. His name is Bang. 41 shots. Assad Shakur, Angela Davis, Breakfast Program, Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. His name is, he has a name. His name is beaten severely, urinated on, chained by the ankles. His name is dragged for 3 miles and decapitated. 81 places have the remains. His name is missing an arm. His name is crackhead, war on drugs, war on poverty, scapegoat, sacrificial lamb. His name is kicked carcass, convict, criminal, thief, drug dealer, victim. Still a child, his name will never breathe again. His name has a mother. His name is expendable. Sundown laws, Jim Crow cars, Jim Crow bars. His name is racial profiling. In court, just call him profiling, because this is not about race. His name is Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Ida B. Wells. No rights a white man is bound to respect. His name has the title. When he dies, his name is Mr. Martin, wearer of the black hoodie, walker of the home path. Wrong place, wrong time. Wrong skin, wrong crime. His name is holder of the Skittles. His name, his mother knows his name. Her tears spell it in big, bold letters down her cheeks. His name is gone too soon. His name is Darky, Spook, Jigaboo, Sambo. His name is different. Too difficult to be pronounced by thin lips and forked tongues. His name dies without justice. Missing. Lost. Bottom of the ocean. Shark food. Triangle trade of littered bones. His name is Sunchild. Starfruit. Young, gifted, and black, but you can call him nigger. His name. He has a name. His name is The Sun is Rising. His name is Wake Up! I know his name because his name is mine.
Thank you so much for being here. Our next speaker is Tabatha Moore. Tabatha is a 6th-generation Vermonter, mother of 3, educator, activist, and PhD student in the field of transformative social change. That's right, give it up. She is president of the Rutland area branch of the NAACP, trustee for Planned Parenthood of Northern New England, member of the Vermont State Police's Fair and Impartial Policing Committee, the Criminal Justice Training Council's Fair and Impartial Policing, Training Committee, Equity Committee member for MRUUSD, and an equity consultant. She is tired AF and needs white people to step all the way up if they want white supremacy to end peacefully.
I gotta take this out of here. Okay, hi everybody. How's it going? I gotta say, I've been to a lot of events over the last couple of weeks, and this is by far like the most chill group I've spoken to. So Rajni got y'all in your feelings, and I know that Sister Omega did as well. So I'm hoping to carry that into some actions with you today. So a couple of important acknowledgments that I'd like to make. First, I'd like to honor Owen and Jesse and David for putting us together. Thank you so much for creating this opportunity. And then the second is an acknowledgement that I always try to make wherever I go, and that is the fact that we stand today on the site, or we sit, depending on what you're doing, on the site of horrific genocide. We stand on the land of the Abenaki Nation. They're still here, and Abenaki family, I know that you did not have a choice but I want to thank you just the same and let all of you know that we know that there will be no true justice and no true peace until we have made right the sins of those who came before us and healed the wounds of decimation to our indigenous family. Put my shirt down. Yell up in that. So the other big acknowledgement I'd like to make, it's kind of a celebration, but Happy Pride, y'all! Yes, Happy Pride! With all of the tragedy and violence, it's hard to even think about the celebration of life and vibrance that is endemic to Pride Month. But if there were any other month in which to deal with such heavy burden as we are, this is the month because our queer family knows not only how to rise from the ashes of bigotry, but our queer family knows how to celebrate life and party like no other. So thank you. And right now, that's really what I'm in need of. It's been a really heavy couple of weeks. It's been an awful month, in fact. And a few of my friends have been checking in on me like, are you okay? I see you in like 20 different places. Like, I'm on Channel 5 News and you're there, and then you're on VPR, and then you're in Digger. And like, what are you doing? Are you Hermione Granger, or did you just steal her time turner? And what I wouldn't do for a time turner right about now. In the words of Cher, y'all remember Cher, right? You remember that song? I find myself, I have soundtracks like Ally McBeal. Those of you remember Ally McBeal, that show where she always had a different soundtrack, and that weird dancing baby thing? Yeah. So for me, if I could turn back time right now, and something you're about to learn about me if you've never seen me speak is that whenever I speak about issues of race and racial injustice, I always start with love notes to my black and brown family members who happen to be here with me today. Can y'all just give me a little hey, just let me know you're here? Hey! Hey! All 8 of us. Listen, I grew up over in Rochester. It was like me, my cousin, and my brother. So this is great. This is significant progress. So anyway, if back to Cher, if I could turn back time, I'd take my brown and black family back to Black Wall Street so they could know the black excellence that rose after slavery. The history we don't get to hear about because white supremacist people and systems couldn't bear the fact that they tried to set us back by 400 years, and all it took was a few years of freedom for us to conquer their system, economic system, build our own, and do it better. So they torched it down and built new laws and created redlining and unfair economic practices to ensure that it would take hundreds of years before we could ever begin to recover, and that's where we are right now. If I could turn back time, I'd take my people back and introduce them to Annie Malone and Madam C.J. Walker. Not only were these women pioneers in some of the most luxurious hair care products, but they were also 2 of the first black millionaires ever, and they were women. And I want my people to know that, and to see, yes, that black women's excellence thrived in the face of misogyny and racism all that time ago. If I could turn back time, I'd take my people to hear Frederick Douglass. Though he is sometimes, you occasionally hear about him from that one wokish teacher during Black History Month who's like, we gotta go beyond Martin and Rosa and Malcolm. Let's talk a little bit about Brother Douglass. But one of those things we don't often get to hear about is this statement, this little love note that he sent to his black and brown descendants. The limits of tyranny are prescribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. What does that mean? That means that systems of white supremacy built by the ancestors of white people has been working overtime, dare I say double or triple overtime lately, to stifle, deny, minimize, limit, and oppress our black excellence. We already knew that based on our education system that overly punishes people who look like us, our healthcare system that ignores and trivializes our pain, a justice system that was designed to keep us down and in cages, a law enforcement system built upon the concept of capturing and returning freed slaves, a correction system that ushered in the new Jim Crow by incarcerating us at ridiculous rates with the assistance of law enforcement and justice systems, beyond anything that ever should have happened. Family, we know the odds are not in our favor and that they haven't been since the day we were stolen from our land or the day that our families came to this country believing that the American dream was meant for us too. We know better though. It's been hundreds of years, and I say this nearly everywhere I go. The NAACP is the nation's oldest and largest nonpartisan civil rights organization in the U.S. 111 years we've been around. 111 years. We're not dead yet, number one. But number two, we're still saying the same thing that Frederick Douglass did when he started that organization. 111 years, we're saying the same thing. Guess what? That means the problem isn't us. It is not in our messaging. It is in people's willingness, white folks' willingness to hear and accept what we have to say. But guess what? We're still here. And what that means is Brother Douglas's message is that it doesn't matter what they do to us, they will never endure beyond our hope. Our internal hope, our knowledge of our excellence will always be the thing that conquers white supremacy. We're still, yes, y'all can clap. We're still here creating and contributing. Our science creates pacemakers and home security systems and gas masks, which may be relevant right now. Our art creates the beats that live for decades, the poems that others reach for when their tired souls need words to describe and impassion their spirits. Our children stupefy grown men with their candor when they speak out about what they see, like Zayana Oliphant did. I could go on, but I hope it's enough to say, Black family, that whether it's a trip through time or you standing in the space right now, I hope you feel your excellence. I hope you feel the queens and kings before you and claim your power and know that, like Elder Douglas meant, white supremacy will never outlast us. You know, this is just, I always love to drop a little bit of knowledge because we didn't get it in history, especially if you grew up here. So do you know that it was us who created the libraries all these books go into? That was us. We created the algebra behind the logic that people use to justify unjust policing systems. That was us that created those tools, just so you know. So, my last little piece of my love note to my Black fan that's here. Please take care of yourself first. Don't feel like you have to educate anyone or apologize for your confident Blackness. Don't waste a moment's breath explaining what could easily be a Google search. And please, get paid for the work you do, because Lord knows we never got paid for that other 400. So, I have about 6 more minutes for y'all. Hi, white family. Hi, white family. All right. See, even they knew. So before I get into my little love notes and advice for you, we aren't just here to listen to us and be in the feelings together. That's helpful. But I have some things that I need you to do, and I think you have signal right now. So please take out your phones. Pull up a text. I'll wait. We waited this long. Type in the number 802-881-0020. Again, that number is 802-881-0020. And you're going to type the word justice and you're going to hit send. And that's going to pull up a petition to change policing practices in Bennington, Vermont. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but down in Bennington, Sister Kaya Morris was forced to resign from her position as the lone Black woman in our legislature because no one would protect her from the racial harassment she received because they didn't see it as a problem. We have continued to push in this area. We have continued to beg and to plead and to educate, and still the response is not coming fast enough. It's not just about Kaya, it's about every Black and brown person who lives in that area who is subjected to poor policing practices built on centuries of injustice. So please, if you feel so inclined, sign that petition. We need changes. That's one that you can make right now. Yes. Where did my speech just go? My speech just left me. Oh, that's all right. Don't worry, it's all in my head too. Just whether or not it's pretty. So that's item number one. Item number 2, go to www.naacprutland.org. That's NAACPRUTLAND.org. Wait. I know the signal's a little slow out here. Anybody get it? You got it? You say NAACP Rutland and the cute little Black boy in the front? Yes. You're on my homepage. Welcome to my home. The first thing I would like you to do, there's a black button with purple writing, or at least that's what it was the other day, just below a green button. And that black button says, support Black Vermonters now. And what you need to do is click on that button, and a doc will appear before your very eyes with a list of brown and Black Vermonters who do the work of racial justice constantly for free. You need to pay them. And you can do that right now. Don't be like, oh, I wish I knew somebody. You have a list of hundreds right in front of you. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all the apps are on there. There's no reason, even $5, $2, it doesn't matter. They deserve something for their work. Pay them. I'd like to acknowledge that the folks putting this on are paying the speakers today, which is very nice. And now that you have donated, now what you're going to do is hit that little green button right above, and you can either donate or become a member or both of the Rutland area branch of the NAACP. You don't have to be black to join. It helps, but you don't have to be. All right? Join our branch. Or you can join my sister branch down in Windham County. You don't have to live in our jurisdiction. My parents live in Delaware. They've been members for years. Right? Or if the NAACP maybe isn't your cup of tea. Some people are like, a little too vanilla for me, a little too hardcore. I mean, it could be anything. Search. For my new white people. How many white people, is this your first rally like this? Give us a clap. Yeah. Woo! Woo! Yes. Welcome to the struggle, I say. Welcome to the struggle. So if you are new to racial justice, but you know that you need to do more than what you're doing, and you're not quite ready for the NAACP because maybe that's scary for you, you can still join a group called Showing Up for Racial Justice. It is a group of white people with other white people learning how to be in relationship and dismantle white supremacy and to ally with black and brown people. Showing Up for Racial Justice, there's one in Middlebury, I think there might be one in Montpelier. There's a few around. Google it. Black people, you see what I did right there? Yes, practicing what I preach and teach, I suppose. Right? Join a local racial justice group. It is not that hard. The next thing is civic involvement. I heard Sister Joy that spoke first, talking about vote. How many times, you said vote, how many times? At least 25. I stopped counting, I was like, oh. But voting is one part of civic engagement. Guess what? Most people who run for select board were never involved in anything before. They don't know, but they know they have to do something for their community. And you're here because you know you have to do something for your community. So if you know your local select board might be a little messed up, or maybe they're not talking about anti-racism, and they're not talking about how the fact that Vermont is such a tourist-driven state, but they don't do anything to encourage or attract or keep people of color, get on that select board. Most people run unopposed. It's not that hard. Get on your local school board. Y'all, we don't need to talk about schools. They're in trouble too, right? There's all kinds of ways that you can get involved civically. And it doesn't mean that you're spending your whole entire life doing it. But it means that you, as somebody who's coming to this rally, are then taking what you are believing in and enacting it in ways that make a big difference to us. And then other forms of civic activity. We're coming to the end of our legislative session, but there are a slate of bills that are out there. I believe they just combined the use of force bill into one called S-219, or 216. It's the use of force bill, so watch for that in the Senate GovOps this week. And everything is on Zoom now. So really, what excuse do we have, right? Hop on a Zoom meeting, watch what they're doing, watch what they're talking about, raise your hand, ask a question, listen to the testimony, write to your legislators. It's not that hard. It's just a matter of believing that what you do makes a difference. And another bill that's going to be coming up, and hopefully we can get it through this week, is the Reparations Bill, because it is time. Support it. If you don't know what that is, what am I going to tell you to do? Google it. Reparations bills. Why are they important? Because you're going to have to convince other white people in your life that it's important. And to have that language is really important for you because you're going to get an onslaught of what the heck is that. So the last kind of big thing I have for you before I leave you with my little notes of love. Use your power to center black and brown voices. If you sit on a board or if you are in any space where decisions are being made at all, and a person of color or someone who clearly gets systemic racism says, we should do this, particularly if it's something that's about encouraging or attracting people to come, or it's about changing policies and procedures so that they're more open, listen to what they have to say and do what they have to say, because they know better than most people. And a lot of times what you're going to get when you start to bring up things like anti-racism in white spaces is, well, we've never done it like that before. Yeah, and they're still dying, so maybe we should change something. It's okay to get mad. So Okay, so now that business is done, I want to leave you with a few things that that you need to know. And if you already know them, then I expect that you're already sharing them with your friends. Like I said, you can Google how to have these conversations. I'm going to end with a tribute to my QT BIPOC, I think was the term that the young people told me earlier. I always use QPOC, not Tupac, he's still dead. QPOC, queer people of color, since like I said, it's Pride. And you know, it's really amazing to me. Pride was gearing up, you know, it was ready to go, and then all of a sudden all this tragedy happened. And everybody talks about how hard it is to make change. Look at our queer community and how quickly Pride changed to center voices of people of color, because they saw Black people in particular, because they see the Black Lives Matter and that we are dying. So if you want to sit around and tell me, oh, it's too hard to make change. No, it's not. Pride just showed how to do it, and they're still showing. So, okay, so we're switching between speeches. That's cool. So I want to gift you with the words, well, me and my boy Todrick Hall. Are you familiar with Todrick Hall, anybody? Yes. Todrick Hall has me in my feelings more than most people. And if you've never heard of Todrick Hall, you need to start with Straight Out of Oz, which is one of the most amazing albums with some beautiful cinematography for the videos that I've ever seen. So Straight Out of Oz is the album. And like I said, my Ally McBeal soundtrack sometimes got me feeling some type of way. So like, if I'm in my 10th prayer vigil or moment of silence at work, because they killed like the 15th Black person in like 2 days, and then somebody turns and says something like, especially if it's a white person, turns and says, I'm so frustrated. I don't know what to do. What we're doing isn't working. Oh my God, is this hopeless? And then they say, what do you think we should do? This is kind of what goes through my head.
You got the wrong bitch.
That's what I hear in my head. And to my white sisters in the audience, don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. When you're in a meeting and you say something, some great idea, and then a white man says it after you, or any man says it after you, and all of a sudden it's his idea, and then you're sitting there thinking,
You got the wrong bitch.
that's what I need. You gotta get in your feelings to do this kind of work. So just a few little if you thinks, because Todrick's got some wonderful ones that hopefully you get to hear in a minute. But if you get into that place where did it go? If you are expecting Black and brown people to come to a meeting and process recent events in a room full of white people and be emotionally present and vulnerable, and when they don't, think that they're being unprofessional,
You got the wrong bitch.
if you expect brown and Black people to come to the table for the 15th time and tell you what to do when they've already told you 14 times and nobody listened,
You got the wrong bitch.
you really do. There are so many other ones, and I think for some reason my phone keeps deleting them. Reese, do you remember what my other one was? My kid is like, Mom, I don't know. Anyway, I got one more for you. If you think that white supremacy is going to end peacefully when you keep asking us for incremental change, to sit around and to be patient while white people and white systems figure out that we're not playing. If you think that there's one more statistic we can prove, one more study we can have, one more committee we can hold, one more task force we can create, and that is magically what's going to undo white supremacy, and we're just going to sit around and wait for you to do it because you want it to end peacefully, guess what?
You got the wrong bitch.
Please keep that in your memory. Move forward with that in your heart. Thank you for coming.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Louder! 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 Louder!
All right, so what we're going to do now is, the men, I want you to lay face down with your arms behind your back for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Women, I want you to lay on your back, just like Breonna Taylor was killed, laying on her back for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. When everybody's laying down, we'll start it.